Telepaths are some of the most powerful characters in fiction. They can use their minds to do all sorts of things, whether that would be lifting entire buildings, firing beams of energy, or even manipulating reality. Whatever the case may be, telepaths are some of the strongest people in fiction. Hello everyone, I'm Dusty, and in this video I will be talking about two of the most popular telepaths in fiction. These two characters being Mewtwo from Pokémon versus Tatsumaki from One Punch Man. These two characters are extremely powerful, and they are not to be taken lightly. I'll be talking about these characters' strength, speed, durability, IQ, and just general abilities that they have to determine which one of these characters would win in a fight. But first, let me talk about their backstories. Mewtwo was genetically made in a lab to be a clone of the Pokemon Mew, and the project was a success. Too much of a success. When Mewtwo woke up, he went on a rampage, killing everybody in the lab. He was a being full of hatred, confusion, and anger. He thought that humans made Pokemon weak and that they held back their latent potential. It wasn't until Mewtwo, in his fight with Mew, had accidentally turned Ash Ketchum into stone. And when the Pokemon cried at Ash's defeat, it changed something inside Mewtwo. He saw the evil of his own actions and swore to protect Pokemon. And so Mewtwo turned onto a new leaf, protecting Pokemon and not killing humans as a side project. Now let's talk about Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki had a rough childhood. As a child, she was taken by scientists where she was used as a lab experiment because of her immense psychic potential. She became isolated and afraid, which caused her to form extreme trust issues and wanted to be independent. Eventually, she joined the Hero Association by convincing of the #1 hero Blast, where she would quickly become the #2 hero. She is a being full of very powerful psychic energy and is one of the strongest characters in the One Punch Man universe. Now that we know about these characters, let's talk about their stats, starting with strength. Mewtwo is an exceptionally strong Pokemon. He's one of the strongest ones to exist. In base, Mewtwo is able to fight and beat the mythical Pokemon Deoxys, who could control the Delta Meteor, the same meteor that had been stated could destroy the planet. This Deoxys also fought Rayquaza, who was capable of destroying the Delta Meteor with little effort. So base Mewtwo can be scaled to planetary. However, he has two other forms that he can use, and these forms are Mega Mewtwo X and Y. These two forms greatly increase Mewtwo's power. X allows Mewtwo to have heightened physical strength and durability in exchange for lowering speed, and Y allows Mewtwo to enhance his psychic power and speed in exchange for being a little bit more frail. In his Mega X form, he was able to fight Zygarde, the same Zygarde who fought Ultra Necrozma, an entity who absorbed energy, and also who destroyed multiple different universes, also called Ultra Spaces. So while Mewtwo did lose to Zygarde, he would scale relative to Zygarde, making Mega Mewtwo universal to multiversal. So to summarize, base Mewtwo would scale to planetary, and Mega Mewtwo X and Y, since both forms are around equal in power, would scale to universal to multiversal at a maximum. Tatsumaki is pretty strong in her own right, as is nature of being the #2 hero. Tatsumaki, with her telekinesis, is able to lift large alien spaceships that are capable of destroying countries. She can also defeat giant monsters who can destroy mountains and cities. She was also able to lift the Monster Association base, which is a mountain-level strength feat. Overall, you can scale Tatsumaki to be mountain to small country to even just regular country levels of strength. As you probably guessed, Mewtwo is far stronger than Tatsumaki, and it's not even close. Even in base, Mewtwo already far exceeds Tatsumaki at planetary levels of power. And Mega Mewtwo, X and Y, are both many, many times stronger than base Mewtwo. So Tatsumaki has no chance of reaching Mewtwo's level of strength. Now that we got strength out of the way, let's talk about speed. Mewtwo in base is able to reach speeds capable of exiting the orbit, which in order to do that, you would need to have speeds around 11.2 kilometers a second or 25,000 miles per hour. However, that is not even close to how fast Mewtwo can go. When Mewtwo was fighting Deoxys, it had been stated that Deoxys was moving so fast it had seemed as if it was teleporting. So this would mean Mewtwo, in his base, is able to move faster than perception. And Mewtwo is able to beat Deoxys, meaning Mewtwo would also So that is further proof that Mewtwo would also reach these level of speeds, since Mewtwo is able to fight on even footing, both physically and speed-wise, with Deoxys. And that's only base Mewtwo. Mega Mewtwo Y is Mewtwo's fastest form. Do you remember Necrozma? Well, it's been stated that he could travel between universes almost as if he was teleporting. Which, if you use as a feat, this would make Mega Mewtwo Y infinite speeds. Now, this wouldn't be a direct feat because Mewtwo wasn't the one fighting Ultra Necrozma, or was the one who did the feat. However, like I said, Mega Mewtwo scales relative to Zygarde, who was able to fight Necrozma on even footing. And while Zygarde did end up losing to Necrozma, Zygarde was not outsped at all during that fight. So, if you do count the teleportation travel speed level feat as a feat, Mega Mewtwo would have infinite speeds. However, if you don't include that as a feat, Mega Mewtwo Y would still reach the light speed level of speed, because most of Necrozma's moveset has to deal with light speed attacks. So, base Mewtwo would be faster than perception, and Mega Mewtwo could scale from light speed to even infinite speeds, depending on whether or not you count Necrozma's near instant travel speed as a feat. If you don't, Mega Mewtwo is light speed. If you do, Mega Mewtwo is if you do, then Mega Mewtwo has infinite speeds. Okay, let's talk about Tatsumaki. Tatsumaki is pretty fast herself. She was able to react and dodge Homeless Emperor's energy orbs or blasts that had been implied to be light speed projectiles. She was also able to react and block Psycho's laser beams with relative ease, which also would be light speeds. So these attacks could be light speeds and probably are light speeds, but at a minimum they are speed of sound. But since they have been stated many times to be laser beams, it is most likely that these are beams of light. So Tatsumaki consistently scales around light speeds. So Tatsumaki is faster than base Mewtwo. Base Mewtwo can move at around faster than perception. However, Tatsumaki can dodge light, which is much faster than speeds faster than perception. However, Tatsumaki would not be faster than the Mega Mewtwo. No matter what type of version of Mega Mewtwo you use, whether you use Infinite Speeds Mewtwo or Light Speed Mewtwo, Tatsumaki's not faster. She's either equally as fast as Mega Mewtwo or much, much slower than Mewtwo. So it depends on where you scale Mega Mewtwo's speed to either infinite or light speed. But either way, Mewtwo, at a minimum, they are tied for speed. However, you can make the argument that Mewtwo is faster. So, depends on where you scale Mega Mewtwo's speed. Overall, I would say Mega Mewtwo has the slight edge in speed, but you can make an argument that they are the same speed. Now let's talk about durability. Mewtwo consistently takes hits from planet and universe busters, like I said, to fight with Deoxys, who is a planetary opponent, and can fight Zygarde, who fights with multiverse and universe level opponents, and Mewtwo is able to fight Zygarde on even footing. And Mega Mewtwo X greatly increases Mewtwo's durability. And Mega Mewtwo X has multiversal level durability because Mega Mewtwo X was the form Mewtwo used to fight Zygarde, which, like I've said a lot, Zygarde was able to fight Necrozma and even Ultra Necrozma. Base Mewtwo can be scaled to having planetary durability, or arguably he could also match multiversal levels of durability due to the fact that in the manga, the Pokemon Alakazam was stated of being able to merge multiple worlds together, which is a multiversal level feat, and Mewtwo is far stronger than Alakazam. So, whether you want to make the argument that base Mewtwo has planetary to multiversal level durability, Mega Mewtwo would consistently have multiversal level durability. And also, going along with the Alakazam feat, this would also grant base Mewtwo multiversal level strength. However, Mewtwo has more consistent planetary scaling strength. But we're not talking about strength right now. So base Mewtwo can either have multiversal or planetary durability, just based on what you think he has more consistent feats with. But Mega Mewtwo, for a fact, has this multiversal level durability. Now, the strongest attack that Tatsumaki survived was a mountain level attack from Psychos. So, yeah, Mewtwo is far more durable than Tatsumaki, and it's not even anywhere close to a contest. Mewtwo, at a base, can survive planetary to arguably multiversal level attacks, and Mega Mewtwo consistently has multiversal level durability. So, even if we take planetary durability and strength Mewtwo, Tatsumaki has not survived a planetary attack before. Even at a high ball, the most you can get Tatsumaki's durability to is continent level. And that's at a high ball with wanks and stuff. So Mewtwo can take a lot more hits at a base than Tatsumaki can full power. So yeah, Mewtwo is far more durable. Now as for IQ, it's also not a contest, with Mewtwo taking it very easily. Tatsumaki's not stupid by any standards, and she has very good and solid battle IQ. But Mewtwo was able to outsmart very intelligent scientists, with, in fact, the same scientists who created him. And even experienced and trained Pokemon trainers were also outsmarted by Mewtwo. He's also smart to a kind of a philosophical level. Mewtwo's always talking about his origin, his purpose, and his reasons for him existing. And this is consistent throughout all of his forms. Mega forms don't lower his IQ or anything. So every form would have this smarter than humans and philosophical viewpoints. So while Tatsumaki is very smart, Mewtwo has consistently shown that he's smarter than the humans who made him, and smarter than human race as a whole. So while Tatsumaki is not stupid in her own right, Mewtwo is just very, very intelligent. Now let's talk about their abilities for our last point. Mewtwo has the ability of every single Pokemon in existence, excluding Arceus, who's the god of all Pokemon, and members of the creation trio such as Giratina, Palkia, and Dialga. These abilities include control over the elements, regeneration, telekinesis, teleportation, telepathy, shadow manipulation, slight reality warping, control over storms, etc. As you can tell, Mewtwo is stacked when it comes to sheer power and attack and hacks he can do. You deal a lot of damage to Mewtwo, he just uses Recover and regains all that health. You think you can dodge him? Well, he has a move known as Swift, which is a move that cannot miss their opponents. You think you're safe from a distance? Well, Mewtwo can just use telekinesis to bring you closer to him. You think you can outspeed him? He just teleports closer to you. You think you can... You get the point. Mewtwo has a large variety of abilities. He has moves like Flamethrower, Thunderbolt, Blizzard, Energy Ball, which is a ball of energy. So there's not a lot of things that Mewtwo has. I mean, there's a lot of things Mewtwo has. There's not a lot of things his opponent can have where Mewtwo doesn't have a counter for. Tatsumaki, on the other hand, while not having as many abilities as Mewtwo, she has quite powerful abilities of her own. She has telekinesis, she can fire energy blasts as well as fly, and she is also immune to any mind manipulation hacks, such as mind control, brainwashing, telepathy, etc. She can create barriers to protect herself from any attacks. She can also enter an overdrive state, which increases her power significantly. However, it's usually a last resort. So who wins? It's Mewtwo, by a lot. He's stronger, faster, he's arguably faster. He's more durable, he's smarter, and he has a lot more abilities and hacks than Tatsumaki does. The only thing Tatsumaki has that Mewtwo doesn't is mind hack manipulation. Because Mewtwo can also create barriers using moves like Light Screen and Reflect, as well as a move called Barrier. So anything Tatsumaki can do, Mewtwo can do at a higher scale and then some. Even in her overdrive state, Tatsumaki cannot reach the multiversal level of power that Mewtwo has in his arsenal. In fact, there's nothing much Tatsumaki can really do to harm Mewtwo. Sure, she might be able to grab Mewtwo with telekinesis, but due to Mewtwo's psychic type abilities, Mewtwo has resistances to psychic-like attacks. As we see consistently in the manga and in the video games, Mewtwo, while not immune to psychic powers, does have a natural resistance to them. So even if Tatsumaki was able to land a clear hit, it wouldn't really damage Mewtwo much due to his high levels of durability, but also his natural resistance to psychic-related attacks. And so even if Tatsumaki, at 100% of her power in her overdrive mode, hits Mewtwo with her strongest attack, while it would do damage, it would not do any lasting effect on Mewtwo. And it's even more likely that if we use Infinite Speed Mega Mewtwo, Tatsumaki wouldn't be able to even perceive Mewtwo in the first place. And it's very unlikely, even if we use Light Speed Mewtwo, that Mewtwo would ever be caught off guard by Tatsumaki, due to Mewtwo's better experience and battle IQ. So, as you probably understand, Tatsumaki can't really hurt Mewtwo in any meaningful way. And I'd argue that Mewtwo not only beats Tatsumaki, but solos the One Punch Man verse as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you disagree with anything I said in this video, make sure to leave a comment down below. And I want to see your opinions on this. Anyways, this is Dusty signing off. Have a good day.